Welcome back. Look, I'm surrounded by kit. This can only mean one thing, is that we got some guys from Atomos with us. And we do, we have two today. They've come in a pair. It's Ian and Will from Atomos. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having us on, John.
No problem at all. Now, we briefly spoke to Jeremy and one of your other colleagues, and we've looked through the Atomos range throughout these days, which has been great to get an insight on them. What you've got here is this new calibration system.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
is very exciting.
Thank you.
We touched on it with Jeremy, but this time we can see it properly in action. Tell us a little bit about what we've got going here.
Yeah, sure. So the Samurai Blade is our latest product, as you know, the latest and greatest. And it's got a fantastic screen on it, but it's simply rectified when you first get it. But as with most screens or all screens, the rectification or the calibration of the screen tends to drift over time. Yes. So to get a true representation of what's been recorded onto your disc and what you are looking at on the screen, you need to calibrate it every now and then. And that's basically what this tool does. We've developed it in conjunction with Datacolor, who are experts in the field. And it's a very simple device. All we do is you plug it into the USB port on your computer. And we have the calibration program running on the computer. And then the LANC out into, from USB out into the LANC. What it does is, it's very simple, it's one click. If you look on the screen here, the little program comes up. We've got calibrate. You simply press calibrate. What it does, if you're on this screen here, on the Samurai, you can see it's giving a different colour profile.
You can see the colours changing now.
And then the sensor reads those colours and then works with the Samurai Blade on the computer to calibrate the screen and get it back to SimDirect 709.
So this is it works in conjunction with your laptop.
Yes, that's correct.
Now I don't know of anything that does this. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody putting a Datacolor Spyder on a monitor to be able to calibrate it. It's always very tricky to get a monitor calibrated, and a lot of time you can't do it. So is this? I'll get you on this, Ian. Is this a fairly new?
Yeah, well, what's happening with technology is that the current crop of these screens that are coming out now are very good. Like they're basically 100% of the Rec 709 gamut. The primaries are pretty much spot on, and the LED backlight is the weak point in the whole thing, really. But the value you get out of calibrating now is really good, because when you've done the calibration, you're going to get a really reliable color reference that you can look at on the screen.
That obviously helps in the post-production process, not having to normalize across different shots.
So I mean, obviously, people say, you can try and sort it out in post. That's one way of thinking. It's not necessarily the Atomos way.
Stitching time saves 9. So do it when in the acquisition stage, and it leaves you to do other things in the post-production process.
So I mean, this is very clever, because for start, you've got that plugged into the LANC port. So, I mean, the advantages I see with this, obviously, is, of course, very quickly, if you are every month, you can just, before you go out and shoot, you can recalibrate your monitor. One of the reasonings I see behind this is because you control everything within this unit. I mean, this is not just a dumb screen with a recorder in it. Is that correct? So explain why it is that you guys are able to be able to do this. I haven't seen anybody else doing it. Why have you guys got the ability?
I'll let our tech expert.
Well, I think we have a full custom system. So every aspect of the system is made by our engineers, all the way from the file structure all the way through to the display that you see on there. Everything has been designed by us, and that means that we have the flexibility to pretty much do anything, as long as we don't run out of space inside there for the things. A lot of other monitors, they tend to buy chips and put them down like Lego blocks, and then you're just limited to the functions those chips have.
Understood.
So we've actually got reprogrammable hardware. So, like when you download new firmware, you're not just changing the software, you're actually changing the hardware. And
which is the reason that whenever you bring out new firmware updates, you bring them out fairly frequently, and you've listened to a lot of the feedback from the people who use it, because you can literally change things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just as an example, this is off the calibration, but here you can see, just this week we announced a new firmware update where a lot of people wanted better audio monitoring, so we've got that here now, and you can perfectly monitor the audio you're recording.
Absolutely. It is amazing technology. If people want to get hold of this, when is this system shipping?
It has been shipping for 3-4 months now.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, the calibration unit is coming out as an accessory,
Yep.
and we're going to be selling that. And they will be, we're saying November to be safe.
Yep.
They'll be hitting stores in November.
And they'll be able to get that from your website, I suspect.
Well, no, if they go to our website,
Yep.
there's a button up the top,
Yep.
where to buy, and you'll be able to see all the different resellers around
Yep.
the world. We've got a lot of them in the European region, so our European customers should have no problem getting their hands on one.
Excellent. And if they want to find out where to buy and they want to find out some information about especially the calibration product, the website is
Atomos.com.
Brilliant.
And we just put up the press release and all the information the other day, so I should have no problem getting a lot of information.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Ian, Will, thank you very much for coming on and actually
Thank you.
showing us.
Yeah, you can see on here as we've been talking,
Yeah.
it's successfully
It's
calibrated,
calibrated.
and that actually finished 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it only takes a couple of
It
minutes
doesn't take
on the
long at
fly.
all to
Yeah.
do. And as you say, you just do it once a month and you've got a monitor that's always perfectly calibrated.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys,
Yeah.
for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Ian. Thanks, mate. So, have a look. Look, you can calibrate your monitor as well. You don't just have to buy it and put up with it. You can get it right before you go out on a shoot. Amazing products. We use these ones all the time. Atomos always stepping up the game and pushing forward. Very impressive. Atomos.com is the place to go.